As of March 2023, 6.92 billion people have a smartphone. So that means that 86% of the world has a smartphone, which makes it even more important for UI UX designers to know how to design for mobile phone experiences. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about 5 must-dos when designing for mobile devices. The first thing, which I learned in Shopee as well, is that every mobile device has a different screen size and resolution, and it's important to know which one is more used by your target audience, and this definitely affects the designs that you do. For example, if you're using an iPhone, you can show a lot more on the screen, but when you're designing for a smaller device, whether it be in Singapore or any other country, screen size and resolution is definitely going to be a key consideration when you design. The second point is navigation and usability. Whenever I work on a client project, one of the first things I work on is the navigation diagram. This is a bit like a sitemap. It's essentially a kind of diagram or tool or visualization of how the website looks, what pages are on the website. This is roughly what the navigation diagram looks like whenever I do it for clients. So usually there'll be the home page, which leads to multiple different pages, which then leads to multiple different pages. So this kind of diagram helps you visualize what pages you would need in your website or mobile application. And this is really important because you want the tabs in the menu to make sense, you want the navigation to make sense, you want the calls to actions and buttons to make sense, because when it's not easy for a user to find whatever they're looking for within a website or a platform, I think that can be a huge turnoff and a huge pain point. So you would want your navigation to be really intuitive and user-friendly. 3. Responsive design. This is similar to the first point on making sure that your design looks good on all screen sizes and resolutions, but for responsive design, I'm talking more about how a website would look on a mobile phone, on a tablet, on a desktop, and maybe even on a television screen. I think responsive design is really such an industry standard. You don't want things to be hidden from your screen or text to be cropped very unesthetically in a way that was not intended whenever a user just resizes the window. I think having a responsive design for your website is really so important and crucial, especially if the company wants to appear professional and get clients. I think all of this really builds on brand trust, which ultimately leads to more users for their platform. 4. Performance optimization. This should not be left out. I'm going to be really honest and talk about one mistake which I made in the past. So when I was working on the new website for Waves Design Studio, I completely forgot to resize images. As UI UX designers, sometimes we want the web page to be very dynamic and to have all these complex animations, but I think we have to exercise some discernment and to really think if animations on every single element is going to be ideal or is going to be a good user experience. Maybe even if it is an excellent and beautiful user experience, is it going to heavily compromise the performance of the website? I think this is something that's a huge skill for UI UX designers. If you're able to think not just about the usability but also the feasibility for the developers or for the computational abilities of the existing technology, then I think that would make you a really awesome UI UX designer, especially for mobile devices. And the last thing is testing and iteration. So a huge part of the design process and as a UI UX designer is that you're going to have to do a lot of user testing to make sure that whatever you designed is really translated well into the actual live production or the live development of the platform that you designed. And this happened a lot in Shopee. So we would design the interfaces on Figma and then we would submit it to the developers, put in all the annotations that we need to, and then submit it to the developers. And then they would take a while to develop, and then they would come back to us and tell us that the design is ready for testing on the test environment. And then we would go into the Shopee app, do the testing, take screenshots, note down some of the design issues that we see on the interface, and then we would compile it all back in Figma and circle the issues, annotate, and all of that. This whole process, this whole user testing process is really important as a UI UX designer because you will want to be meticulous to catch all the issues before the user catches it, because there's no going back when a user gets a really bad experience or when a user catches some of these issues. I think it can really be quite damaging to the business or the brand. So as a UI UX designer, it's really important to test and to iterate from those tests and just to be really meticulous. I think that's another huge skill that we can cultivate as UI UX designers. So that is all for the 5 must-dos as a UI UX designer. I hope this was really helpful, and if you have any other questions, feel free to comment down below and I'll do my best to answer. That is all for now. A little update for Nomad and me. We have a lot of plans for We have a lot of plans when it comes to educating and teaching aspiring freelancers, aspiring creatives. So really stay tuned to this YouTube channel. This is really the first step that we're taking. We have like a whole roadmap for this year drafted out already, so do stay tuned to YouTube. This is really the place where we're offering really unlimited free content right now, so do check out our other videos and do subscribe as well if you really want to support and if you like what we're doing. Yeah, I guess that's all for now, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!